Hey, I'm Tom.
And I'm Tanner.
Welcome to episode 177 of Bird Squawk.
Are you not great again on the front of the birds? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think I got a lot to say in this episode, but I don't think it'll be able to be covered. But I think it's gonna be a little surprising to some people. Kind of what I'm not end of the world, man. I'm not end of the world. Obviously, birds drop another one to Dallas, coming off the Niners loss. Now technically the fifth seed, even though they're tied, but it's all in front of them if it depends on how they finish the season. But another lackluster performance on both sides of the ball. Just another slow start that cost them.
Yeah, and it just seems like we got to clean up these mistakes, man. Clean up these turnovers. A lot of uncharacteristic turnovers here. I mean, Jalen's having a bunch this year. But now it seems to be spreading to AJ, Devontae. It's like, man, we can't keep putting ourselves in these situations. A couple of those plays here, there, we might even still be in that game. But it kind of felt like, we waited all day and then they walked out and that's what they put on display for us. I mean, when do we hit the panic button with this defense? I mean, but then again, when you talk about it, the offense got to score. I mean, they got to put up some points. This offense is supposed to be like a well-oiled machine, and we got all the players, and nobody's hurt on offense, right? All the guys are hurt on defense, but the offense isn't clicking, man.
Yeah, I mean, you touched on a lot of things I want to talk about. I mean, obviously, first off, and I said this in the episode, I get last week. I get it, kind of compound because it was Niners, Dallas, 2 losses in a row. But I get you got to respond. I get you got to show up and try and get right on the get back on the right track. But that was a tall order on Sunday for that team. I mean, a hot Dallas team. You haven't swept Dallas since 2011. You haven't won down there since 2017. Jalen doesn't have a great history playing down there. A lot of things were stacking up not in their favor. Just going into that game, the vibes weren't great. But yeah, a lot of the small stuff. I mean, I agree. Like the fumbles. I mean, that's been a thing literally since like week 1 with this team. Is the turnovers costing them? And I agree with you 100%. I don't know if we win that game, but you're definitely in it. I mean, Jalen fumbles at the 30 on a drive as you're trying to answer right after they scored. AJ, classic kind of AJ. He was a little flustered, kind of let his opponent, let his one-on-one bother him a little too much. You could tell that he was trying to do a little too much with Gilmore and probably was a little light with the football trying to make a big play. That pops out. And then, yeah, the Devontae one was uncharacteristic. Not that they were in the game at that point, but I think they were down 14 with potential, and they were driving or down 17 or something, and that was at about the 20 or so. So, yeah, I mean, that just kills you. And I get it. The defense is bad. But it's the middle of the field. It's been the middle of the field all year. I talked about it last week that Bradbury and Slay really weren't that bad in that Niners game. They didn't attack them. Once again, I saw the stats on both of them for the Dallas game. Yeah, there was a couple PIs on both of them. Ticky-tack stuff. I mean, I think some of the calls were iffy on Sunday, but not that that's why they lost the game. But I think Slay gave up no yards, no catches other than the PI he had, and I think Bradbury gave up 30 or 40 yards. I mean, they're not. I get that they're getting the brunt end of the kind of hate because when the passing game is like, oh well, the corners aren't doing good. They're not even really going after those guys. It's the middle of the field, like it's been all year, that's getting exposed.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel like when another team brings that zero blitz against us, we get burned for like 60 yards, right? They'll burn us. But when we bring that zero blitz, we got no answers, right?
No.
We got no answers for that. And it's like, when are they gonna like throw a little screen pass or something, or slow these guys down to they're coming after Jalen, and when they full on blitz him, he's done.
The thing is with me and the offense is I get it. They're not good right now. They're not good enough at all, flat out. And I mean, I remember early in August, September, July, August, September, we talked about how like the defense was the big issue, and that's kind of like what we thought. But we expected the offense to pick up like it was last year, right where they were, same pieces in place. And at the end of the day, I mean, they're running the same offense. I get that there's a lot of things you want to microscope once you're not succeeding, that, oh, there's not a lot of pre-snap motion. There's not this. There's not a lot of predictability. Two things on that front. I mean, I don't think, unless I forgot what I was watching last year, there wasn't a whole lot of pre-snap movement last year. We're not the Niners. We're not the Cowboys. We're not the Dolphins. But we still had success without that last year. Yeah. And when people say, when people say predictability, I've seen a predictable offense. I watched Chip Kelly's offense for 2 years at the end. That was predictable. I mean, there's more stuff I want to get into, but I'll let you speak.
Well, the only thing I was going to add is, like, we didn't get to 10-3 by being a fraud.
Exactly.
Right?
And I think it's I get it. Sky's fallen. But some of the stuff I've seen and heard and so what things people are doing, some of it's flat out embarrassing. I mean, we're a 10-3 football team.
I just feel like people are focusing, though, on it's 2 butt whoopings in a row.
Agreed.
And these are the teams we're going to face if we want to get to where we want to get to. Right?
I open this question to you. And I get it's not that, it's maybe 4 weeks in between games. Say we would have lost the first Dallas game and would have won this Dallas game. I mean, at the end of the day, you knew you were going to split with them. You always do.
It goes back to that old schedule thing. It's better to lose early than it is here losing late, right? Lose early and get it going, then get it going, and now
I don't know.
A wheel's loose. Right?
I just hear all this.
I don't know.
All this crap. I mean, like, there's reports. Well, they're not playing good football right now, but last year they were playing their best football. No, they weren't. Jalen was hurt. We lost 2 games in a row with Minshew, and they almost barely.
But I think it's another thing where you get beat, then you have Bosa come out and talk his crap.
Yeah.
Then we get beat by the Cowboys and whatever his name, DeMarcus Lawrence, says that, hey, when you got them down and they quit, you got to keep going at them.
Well,
it's just stuff you don't want to hear, and then you have guys going against the offense saying,
agreed. That's what I was gonna say. I don't like hearing about the town criers going to Derek Gunn about the offense. I mean,
come on,
I get it, man. I mean, it's 2 tough losses in a row, but it's not like I think this is it's so quick to people forget that it's not like we had last year's schedule and all of a sudden we played the Niners and the Cowboys and we lost games. I'd be way more panicked if it was last year's schedule and we're beating up on these bad teams or we're trying to inch out wins against these bad teams and then we get these 2 teams and get our doors blown off like we have. People forget, I mean, Dolphins, Chiefs, Bills, Cowboys another time around. There are still quality wins on this resume, and I know it's not college football.
Yeah, and we talked about that at the beginning of this gauntlet. If we came out of this thing at 3-3,
and that's the crazy thing too. Right? That's where we're at, man. This is where we're at.
I mean, the Cowboys still got the Dolphins, the Lions, the Bills. They still got all of that stuff on their schedule.
Yes,
right. So
there is a loss in there.
I think we're back to. We come out Monday night and we show some life and show some,
The only thing that scares me is where it's freaking at.
More than a pulse, and we somehow come out of the place where we never win with a win. We will right the ship, right?
Agreed. I mean, I think it's weird, and I get it. The defense is bad, and they are, but I mean, they're in. It's crazy to say, but they're in that game in the second half. I mean, 2 weeks in a row now. You kind of got that booster. You got that kind of shot of adrenaline in the second half. In both games, you're trailing. I mean, obviously the big Dom stuff in the Niners game, but you get the strip sack, you get the take it back, and then you just do nothing with that.
Well, it just comes down to we're shooting ourselves in the foot.
Well,
These
yes,
damn
that's true, too.
turnovers, man. Can
You
we
can't win
Can
games.
we show up and be focused for 4 quarters and play our brand of football and stop putting the ball on the carpet? Stop letting guys like Gilmore get in your head.
Mm-hmm.
Play your game. Do your job, right? And
Yeah.
then all this crap goes away.
And that's the thing too. I mean, I get the defense gets their hate. But if you watch this team or you know how these games with Dallas go, you know going into Sunday night that was going to be a shootout.
Yeah.
You needed your offense to score. I get the defense was giving up points in the beginning like it was at the end of the Niners game. And at the end of the day, they came around a little bit and tried to hang on. But you need more out of the offense. And that's the main thing. I mean, the defense is what it is. I think they can be better, but I also think it's been a mix of, I mean, you're getting banged up. I mean, Reed's finally back. He gets knocked out. I mean, you are thin and young in the back end. And the linebackers, they are what they are.
You know, we might have talked about this way back, but I feel like this offense has got to put up 30.
Mm-hmm.
And then you tell the defense, you got to hold them at 29.
But I mean,
that's where we're at.
I mean, that's what it should be, though. I mean, this offense should be scoring 30 points a game. I mean, there should be no reason why they shouldn't be. I mean, the thing is, you can criticize play calling, and I agree, it is skeptical at times. But I mean, Jalen missed a couple guys. I mean, you can say on that 4th and 9, that's a terrible play call. If he hits Devontae in stride, he picks up that first down. Devontae has to stop and come back for that. I mean, there's just small stuff like that.
Devontae missed that one in the end zone.
I don't know how
much.
much.
Out of reach.
I was going to say, I don't know how much you can blame on
That's
Devontae
another
on
one
that
that if we drop that one in, man.
I mean, there are plays, and I'm not saying you win that game, but you look at plays, and I mean, it's classic just leaving points on the board. If that's with turnovers, if that's with settling for field goals, if that's just self-destructing. I mean,
you know, as a fan, that's part of our spoiled nature now, man.
Well, that's the thing, too.
If we don't win, we want everybody fired, man, or we want to change. Or
It's really
stuff to happen.
Really,
right?
really embarrassing. Like, truly. I mean, you can look back when I was talking about earlier, July, August, September. What did I tell you about Sean Desai? This guy was in a lose-lose situation. I mean, it's the classic first year with Gannon. Look what this guy's working with. Is he better than what he is? There's that bum at the NovaCare complex with the sign and the trash cans. I mean, that's embarrassing. I mean, we're a 10-3 football team. I know this isn't gumdrops and rainbows and all of a sudden like we're 10-3, we're all right. But I mean, you would think this is a 4-9 football team right now, the way people are acting.
We need to right the ship, though.
Agreed. 100%.
We need to beat Seattle Monday night.
Agreed.
And then we got to do not ruin my Christmas. We do not lose to Tommy Cutlets. I mean, and then we got the Giants and the Cardinals and then the Giants. This is like set up to run the table.
The thing is, it is set up to run the table. But I mean, the Cardinals aren't good, but they're like not a team I really want to play because you don't know what. Yeah, but that wasn't with Murray. That was during freaking Dobbs' insanity run. That's over. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to assume those are wins, but those are games that a team that is better than those teams, 2 of those games at home, needs to come out and finish. I mean, I still have nothing but faith in this team to right this. And I'm not saying that I ain't a little shaken by what's going on. And I think it's interesting to look at some of the possibilities with seeding and that now. It's very interesting. Like, it's all about the 1 seed. But it could easily be if we get the 2 seed or the 3 seed, if we win the division, you would have a wild card game. And then you would avoid Dallas and San Francisco. It's one of those weird things.
I would love to, wherever we finish, it be that Dallas has to go out and face
Because
San
the thing
Francisco.
is, the 1 seed,
they beat each other out.
Everyone's worried about the 1 seed, but in a very realistic scenario, if you want to get to the Super Bowl, if you're the 1 seed, you're going to have to play Dallas and San Fran. Most likely, because Dallas is going to beat whoever wins the NFC South, and then say that the Lions handle their business. Dallas is coming here it's like you got to look ahead, and I get it. Home field advantage is so crucial. I mean, every time this team has made it to a Super Bowl, the NFC Championship game was in Philly.
Yeah.
I get it. But it really comes down to you got to look. And it's the weird thing that this team needs a break.
Yeah.
This team needs a break.
Yeah, I really wish the bye would be like right
it's
now.
It's very interesting.
I mean, but, we talked, though, the place they're not hurting is on offense. Everybody's healthy, right? Except for whatever's going on with Jalen. We're never going to know, right? We're never going to know. That's never going to come out. But, I mean, everybody else is healthy. And that's the side of the ball that should be putting up points.
Exactly.
Right? And I will go back and I will say we're 10-3 and we're not a fraud 10-3, right?
I don't think so.
I mean, all we got to do is right the ship, get back on track, and this will all take care of itself. There's nothing worse than a loss on a Monday, right? There's nothing worse than Monday after losing that game Sunday. This week we got to sit around and wait till Monday night.
I know. This freaking schedule's
so
killing me.
It's like, here we go. I feel like there's still that team at the core. And it's time now to flip the switch.
And I 100% agree with you. And even with them going to the House of Horrors, that is freaking CenturyLink Field, or I don't think it's called that anymore, but Seattle, I do expect them to win. As much as everything says that they are not going out there and win. I mean, I don't know who's playing quarterback. It doesn't really matter.
I don't want to use your dreaded words, but it feels like a must win.
I would agree. It is a must win. I didn't want to put that label on it last week because it really was a tall order to ask. To go down there and win, sweep them. You haven't done it since 2011, haven't won there since 2017, whatever. But it definitely is a must win because full panic, and not that I think the locker room is getting torn apart, but there's a little too many things coming out of the locker room, reports, classic crap, that isn't good to hear.
It's time to keep the main thing. And
you gotta start fast. Like, come on, man. We gotta put a drive together right off the bat, go on the freaking score. You can't be dropping behind all the time.
We can't
been
be playing catch up.
No.
It's
not against
working.
some of these teams.
It's not working,
not some of these teams.
So, we need to show up Monday night. Show up, show out. Take care of business. Keep your mouth shut. Play your game. Do your job. Don't worry about all the other noise.
And then you're fine.
And then we're good.
Agreed. So, as always, thank you guys for watching. We'll be back, as always, next Wednesday. So make sure to follow us on Instagram at birds_squawk. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Fly, Eagles, fly.
Go Birds.